We're good.
We're good to go. We're cooking with gas now.
GoPro's on?
GoPro is on, brother.
Let's do this.
All right. So, welcome everybody. You are listening to our new podcast. We're calling it Whiskey Babble. And this is the maiden voyage of our show. And what's the premise behind the show is drink good whiskey. We're not sponsored by any whiskey brands. So we're currently drinking some Gentleman Jack here. And they are not paying us. So they are not a sponsor. But the premise of the show is I was actually driving to work one day and I was listening to the radio. And I realized that everybody always seems to interview celebrities and, things of that nature. And it really started to get me thinking about what's the average man do? What does the guy that comes in clean your pool do? What's his story? Or the person that, rigs up your lights at your house, what's his story? So we decided to kind of roll with it, and it's something that our producer, Matt, him and I have been working on it for a while, and we've been kind of spitballing it, and we decided to get rolling on it. So tonight's episode, we are featuring a fine, strapping young lad. Oh, so good looking. Taylor Layne. Now, Taylor Layne is a photographer, and let's start the show. Hey, Taylor, how's it going?
It's going well. How are we? How are you?
I am doing great.
We are much better now.
Yes, now that we've got the whiskey. Don't sit on the table, though. We got the... So, Taylor is a professional photographer. And I say professional because he gets paid to do what he does. I mean, you kick shit for a living and you get paid for it. You're a professional shit kicker. So,
that's true.
Done deal. So, Taylor works mostly the night scene.
More so, nightlife in itself is what kind of how I evolved my career into. Now I do a lot more corporate. I do weddings, pretty much anything in application of taking a photo of. I mean, per any scale, I can do. That's what I pride myself on. I don't just stick to one niche in the scheme of photography. So rather than just one genre, I have the whole field to kind of play with.
Cool. And there's obviously a lot of questions that I believe, I personally have. And the main reason I want to have people on, like my friend Taylor here, is to understand more. I love to learn. Majority of the people that we know that are going to listen to the show love to learn. And, I find certain things interesting and certain things that I really want to talk with Taylor about, or anybody in their certain profession. Like, I'm sure we'll have our own producer, Matt, on soon to talk about electronics and everything, and what's coming in, what's coming out. Have you seen the new Raspberry Pi?
I haven't.
You haven't? No, you have not?
Not
Okay.
yet, no.
Raspberry Pi. Taylor knows what I'm talking about.
Only because you've showed me.
Only because I've showed you.
No idea. I was like, have you heard of this Pi?
It's a microcomputer. It's about the size of a credit card, and you can use this thing for anything, running automated home security. You can set it up to actually run media centers, which I'm not condoning because it kind of promotes piracy, and we don't do that here. I'm saying you could do it it's a simple Google search if you wanted to figure out how to do it. But yeah, no, they have a new one out. It's double the size, quad core. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
So I figured,
I'll
whatever.
have to look into that. More of an Arduino man myself.
Oh, okay. Arduino. Microprocessors, not actually microcomputers, but we'll talk about that on another show here. So Taylor, when you were back, only because that scene is so interesting. I know, 3 or 4 years you were a nighttime club photographer? Longer?
No, I've been a professional I've had my business under my Taylor Layne Photography. I established that in 2012. Actually, February 12th of 2012.
And so that's technically T Layne.
Yeah.
LAYNE photography.
Yes.
.com.
No, the website's T Layne Photo.
T Layne Photo.
Abbreviate everything. Everything's so short these days.
Oh, okay.
I'll go ahead and throw the website in the description.
T Layne.
Yeah,
T Layne.
but you know what I mean, though. Just to float it
it's
right
Taylor
now.
Layne Photography is my business. I go by T Layne Photo. It's just, I don't know. It was actually pretty funny when it came to how to become a professional photographer, or amongst my community, or fellow photographers. It's your first, last name, and then add photography to the end, and there's your business title. I'm like, okay. So it just kind of just happened. I went from managing a DJ as his manager, tour manager, to I got bored. Technically, I got bored partying every night, 4 nights a week. You know, it just kind of got old. And current girl I was dating had a DSLR, just kind of hanging out in her room. Like, do you use this thing? And she's like, no. What is that? I'm like, it's a camera, and this is what you do with it. It's like a Rebel XT, and I literally just started shooting my artists, and I don't know, it just kind of took off from there. I haven't put a camera down since. So
now, what I mean, only because I want to know what was your drive to actually go into photography, other than recording, or like you said, you were managing, right? And as I recall, you know, just so everybody has a background, Taylor and I have been friends for many years, so I know a little bit more than you guys, but we're going to share that all with you. But as I recall, he was a fairly successful DJ.
Yeah, he was actually under Babble Records label, so he was P. Diddy's house DJ, so to say. He's originally from Brooklyn, New York, moved to LA. This is back before EDM or electronic dance music, for that sense, had become mainstream, to where you went to a club and you just had house music going, or you had hip hop, or you had R&B. There wasn't anything about the DJ. Everyone was cool with the DJ because he's the DJ, but he provided the atmosphere for the night, for your social hour, your escape from, you know, your 9 to 5, or, you know, like instead of going to a bar to just sit and drink beers, you go to a nightclub to meet people, mingle, whatever, just nightlife in general. And then when EDM erupted and came over here from Europe, and just, it wasn't here in the States at the time at all. Like, very few people knew who Tiesto was, or
better off alone. It's whatever.
It's just whatever. But like Hardwell and all those cats coming up, I mean, I had heard about them just being in the industry itself, and nightlife and music and stuff like that, but it wasn't about going to a nightclub to see a DJ or an artist or a producer. It was just about going out and hanging out. And then when the entire shift came over to, holy shit, we can sell tickets for people to come see these producers that are producing all these tracks, you know, and that's when the whole scene itself changed over into a show rather than, you know, going to a nightclub. Nightclubs aren't the same anymore. They probably will never be the same anymore. You used to go to nightclubs and it was all about status and who could get in, or who, like, not waiting in line and buying bottles.
I know a couple of those assholes.
Oh, well. I photograph a couple of those assholes. So those assholes pay me to take their photos. So. No, they're not assholes. They're just interesting people. But just in perspective, it just completely evolved over a course of like a year. It was so fast. And what happened with P. Diddy Babble Records and his label, he didn't get renewed or something like that. The business transaction just kind of fell through to where they didn't need house DJs anymore. They wanted producers. They wanted these kids making electronic music on their computers and sell tickets, so to say, to sell shows. And that's where we're at today. I mean, still going strong. And now we have massive festivals in the States, and we have festivals coming over from the UK now to the United States that are.
Well, that was gonna be my next
huge,
question to you. I mean, like, what are your thoughts on when it comes to music and, you know, DJs compared to? I mean, how much you throw in a Led Zeppelin CD?
Oh yeah.
And you go, that's fucking Led Zeppelin, dude.
Yeah.
You go like, that's
iconic.
That's music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You throw in a DJ CD. Let's just say, I don't know, a DJ CD. What should I call it?
Not even a DJ CD.
A track.
Yeah,
I throw in a track from whatever DJ, that Calvin Harris or whoever's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's top notch right now.
What's
$400,000 a night?
Okay, but what do you believe the life expectancy is that? I mean,
there isn't one.
Only because I believe that
it's kind of cool you brought this up, actually.
Yeah,
because I get asked this all the time.
And I'm only saying it because I'm like, you know, I play guitar and it took me years to learn, and I still can't, you know, even fathom what some of the other people can do. So I can plug in GarageBand though and start making beats.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, that's why I'm only. How saturated is it? Is what I'm really asking.
It's oversaturated now. It's beyond saturated. My dog is.
We have a guest in the studio here.
I brought my children with me.
Couple puppies.
Yeah, so sorry for the distraction.
They're enjoying Matt, our producer over here. And what breed is she?
She is actually a Rotador. Her dad was a. What is she doing? She's a Rottweiler and English Lab, so to say. 85 pounds of fun.
Okay.
She's only 2 years old.
No,
so she's
you can't
still
come
got
over
this
here.
little puppy syndrome going on here. But anyways, just to get back to your question.
Yeah.
The scene itself is completely oversaturated. I myself, I love nightlife just for what it is. I don't hate on it at all. I am obsessed with the business perspective of it because I get to see the ins and outs of everything from the party scene itself to, you know, I capture moments of I won't call them epicness, but it's just that real iconic stuff that has actually become. So the big thing is, I like to study it from the business perspective of how I watch and observe for a living, and that's what I get paid to do for, is by seeing an image of what is actually happening and capture that moment. But I also follow artists. I follow the kids that are producing tracks. I meet these kids and they're openers, the direct support. They're nowhere near the level of like the main set or the center of attention for the night, or all these kids and promoters running around selling tickets to sell their show. So I get to actually watch as individuals evolve in the industry as well. And kids like Jaws is really hot right now. Oh, hey.
Oh, we have a guest. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. We have a guest, guys. My lovely fiance Laura just walked into the studio, and she's got the puppies following her now.
Where's Dex? There he is.
They are off and about. Okay, cool. We're back. We're going.
We're going.
We're still rolling.
Okay, good.
Next time we're not bringing the dogs.
I figured I'd keep her company. I mean,
Well, once she gets introduced and she figures out who's who, and I don't know.
oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for setting this up in the living room.
Oh, you didn't tell her.
But no.
Oh,
So
she had no idea. She just walked into
yeah,
this.
she's kind of walked into this.
She's like,
Solid
there's
choice.
dogs. And
Solid choice on your part.
Yeah. So I figured the dogs would be a great
You know what? Let's just throw that in there. Why not?
take her mind off of it. You know what I
Perfect.
mean? So that's okay. Cool. So back to on topic here. So watching the DJs and everything come up, you kind of see it from the business perspective. But I mean, what's the
as it's oversaturated itself. Because this conversation comes up all the time, whether someone is successful or not successful, or kind of in a standstill about like, is this the right thing for me? For me personally, I grew up with you. We went to shows, live shows, Seosin,
Yep.
Treyo, Avenged Sevenfold, Census Fail. Who actually I got to shoot 4 months ago or so. It was really cool to be able to photograph a band that I grew up loving
That's pretty
and going
awesome.
to see live.
Sorry, I couldn't make that, by the way.
I did invite you.
Yeah, I did. I know.
invite you. It's super cool to hear them play tracks that, when I was 17, 18,
High
growing up,
school.
like raging in the pit. Like I was in the pit and part of the crowd, and now I'm capturing that scene, However, as it is right now with bands and live music like that, it's kind of not faltered and gone underground. It's just kind of elsewhere. Because right now the hype is all about, who's producing what tracks and DJs and the shows, and it's just an ultimate party now rather than an actual concert to see, like, Imagine Dragons. Those guys are on fire right now. Just that pure sense of musicianship. And I actually just kind of see that as a loss for us, because we no longer have that. We have an artist or a producer that's up there as a professional knob tuner. He's literally just spinning knobs, and it's cool to see him play the actual track that he produced, but now it comes down to just, you are nothing but a problem right now.
Dogs.
Come here, lay down. Get over here. Get over here and lay down.
Handling a little business here, guys. A little bit of business.
Yeah.
If you watch the live feed on YouTube, you can actually see what's happening right now. Hey.
Well, she's under the table. I don't think the ghost will catch it, but stop.
Okay, so let me ask you something else then.
Tired of this distraction. No.
Kind of backtrack a little bit. Wait a minute, we're still dealing with the dogs here.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her
It's not a big deal.
on the balcony.
Go put her in the room with Laura. Will she be fine?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put the dogs up for a second here.
Well, I nearly.
Just gonna pause here for some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties here. So are we back? Okay. So re-ask the question.
Yeah, go ahead and read
Okay,
it.
cool. So back to on point here. Question for you: what do you, as a photographer, see the scene being oversaturated with how easy it is to produce music? I mean, it took me years to learn how to play guitar, and I'm still not good. You know what I mean? But I can plug in GarageBand or whatever programs are out there. There's hundreds. I can do it on my iPhone. I can download an app and I can make beats on my phone.
The application with technology is definitely erupted. But it comes down to, as it is oversaturated now, absolutely, you've got everyone wanting to be a DJ. You've got all these kids trying to produce new tracks, new sounds. Whether it's super compressed in the dubstep, trap, house, deep house scenes, remixes. Like, you can get discovered and get signed by remixing tracks and becoming popular. I have personal friends that have done it, and now they're producing their own sound and their new tracks, and they now have their following of 30 to 60, 70,000 fans online. Everything's now a social buzz because it's online. To whereas, you know, you didn't hear of a band unless you went to the damn show.
Yeah, so
like who opened? Like who was that? You know, and then all of a sudden, boom.
There definitely wasn't Twitter and Facebook and all that shit.
Oh my god, SoundCloud, Beatport, all this stuff. So it's definitely, absolutely, completely oversaturated. And even in for my career in nightlife, it's taken its subtle shifts and turns, and I've kind of stuck with it. But I went on a more corporate route because I wanted a pure career. You know, I wanted to pay my bills every month, and nightlife just wasn't providing that for me as a photographer, because as the scene erupted and became more, as we say, oversaturated or more popular, you know, I progressed in my skills and honed in on how I wanted my images to portray nights and events. And then I started charging more because, you know, I was being dragged in different directions to shoot this show, that show. More. So I started, you know, demanding more. I mean, I have my flat rates and my business rates and my homie hookups and stuff like that. However, now we have kids that want to shoot for free because they want to be part of the party. And they get access to that party for free with a camera. So it really kind of burns us as professionals that have, I mean, I've only literally been shooting photography for 3.5, maybe 4 years long, but having my entity as Taylor Layne Photo in the industry for 3 years. I have an agent that represents me now on a national scale, which is new and really cool. However, it's tough when you're trying to sell a client or pitch a client on a bid for a photo gig or a video gig or going on tour, when you've got these kids that'll shoot for pennies just because they're new. I mean, yeah, some of them are talented as hell. However, you know, I look up to the guys that I've been following for a minute, or that inspired me. Like Rooks is one of them, Jordan Lloyd's another. That's Tiesto's personal photographer, and all these guys that I've actually met in the industry that have made it and where I want to be, and that have inspired me to really pursue my passion in it. And these guys have been shooting 5, 10, 14, 20 years, and it's just like Rooks himself is from LA. From Avalon. He had been shooting 14 years before I even picked up a camera. And so it really like put me in perspective and humbled myself. Like, look, I want to do this as fast as possible. But then again, you know, you've got that hierarchy of those guys that have actually earned the positions of where they're at and earned the right, not technically the right, but earned the respect to shoot and be on that level to make, you know, that in its essence, that career, rather than some kid coming out shooting for free and taking their position away.
Okay, well, let me backtrack here.
Okay.
And I think you know where I'm going to go with this.
Sure.
But weren't you that kid, though, that was going in there for free?
I shot alongside. I didn't take anybody's job.
Okay.
That in itself is when I contact clients today and go, you know, I haven't shot anything for you for a while, or well, we have this event coming up that I'm normally filming and that I would like to partake, because I'm a hybrid. I do both. There's very few of us that actually film, produce, and do photographies on nights where I can actually film and do photos. Supply a full album, 200 to 300 photos of a 6 to 8 hour event, maybe even a 4 hour event, depending upon the content, and film and kick you a video edit all in the same night is very rare and not heard of. So when it came down to me, and it's like, okay, well, I'm already bid for the video. That's obvious. Would you guys like me to kick you some photos, some other Instagram, Facebook, you know, social media content? And it's like, oh no, we're good. We're tapped on the budget, this and that. And then I find out, you know, they have 8 or 9 other kids or other photographers on site. And then I'm like, right, you were tapped on the budget. And then I end up talking with them a little bit, like, oh no, you know, I'm shooting for this person, shooting for that person. And then that client posts all that content because they were allowed at that event. They expected their content. So then I did my homework and found out all these kids were shooting for free. And so it came down to, you know, the client himself won't, and necessarily, I mean, it kind of gets clusterfucked completely, because you built that relationship, you worked yourself up to be, I mean, I'll hands down provide better content, but you know, at the end of the day, these kids are shooting for free.
No,
yeah, it's hard to compete.
So you asked me, was I ever that kid? Never.
Okay.
I shot for free out of my pure fun and passion, and I actually came into nightlife or nightclubs to shoot my girlfriend at the time, who was a dancer or a go-go dancer. Let's just not go there. You smile at me. I'm like, let's just not go there. However, that's kind of what got me in there, right? So I come hang out while she was working and take photos. And then the owner of the club called me one day. This is when I was working at a body shop. And he's like, you know, your photos are really good. We'd like to actually, you know, bring you on board. I started shooting 4-hour nights for $50 a night. I know kids that are now starting and they're doing the same thing, 50 to 75 to 150. Yep. I mean, my rates are well beyond that perspective now, but you know, you start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. But when you're undercutting a professional because you're willing to shoot for free. And the client's like, great, I got a photographer to shoot for free. You're charging me $200-$300? No, fuck you, get out of here.
But that's capitalism.
It technically is. So as the scene is oversaturated now, and all these kids want to be a part of this party, and they get to have that access to the party because they have a camera, it totally just fucks us all up.
Did you guys know that is a true story? I swear to God. So Amazon in 2013, I believe it was. I mean, I could Google it right now, but whatever. You guys can Google it. But in 2013, they actually posted $100 million loss for their diaper sales because they wanted to prove to diapers.com that they could sell more diapers. And they undercut because they wanted the business. That's a prime
Right,
market.
absolutely.
I mean, babies, you just have a baby. You know diapers are the market.
Oh yeah.
So
they're expensive.
they
Really
undercut diapers.com, who is the #1 seller for diapers. And
it's called diapers.com.
Diapers.com.
Oh, come on.
And they lost
now.
$100 million, and diapers.com was so scared that they sold their entire business to Amazon.
Wow.
I'm like, well, it's kind of what Taylor's talking about. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, no one's offered me $100 million for my business.
Do you have
I'd
any?
be like,
Do you have any more ties to that club that you used to shoot photos at?
Any more ties?
Yeah, like
Not business wise.
okay. Cool.
They do contact me.
Weren't they shut down for rats?
Oh, let's not even. I'm not that guy right now. You can do your own homework. Google that club.
Hey, in all fairness, I never said.
Remaining
Hey,
nameless.
no. I never said the name of the club. Weren't they shut down for rats?
Multiple times.
Dude, that place. Okay, like you took me.
It's old.
You took me there one time,
it's old,
dude.
But,
you took me there one time, and I felt sketch as shit. Like I was like, "What is going on?"
Yes. Okay.
What's the drug scene?
It's an historic venue. It's old as fuck. I mean, what, 1929 or something?
Yeah,
like
my
that?
dad
It
used
was
to
a
go there
hotel,
to
it
see
was a
movies.
restaurant.
Yeah,
It's a theater for a while.
Yeah.
It was a church. Now it's a nightclub. It's a venue, and no, I have still a great relationship with the club in itself, just because it was home for me for the upcoming of my photography.
It's your roots. I mean, you
not
always
only that,
stay
it's local
true to
us.
where you came up from, you know?
Yeah, but also, we live in Orange County. Our nightlife here isn't that spectacular. We
Exactly.
have, Sutra 10, Shark Club, hey.
Go to the
Bob,
ranch.
Wayfair, the ranch. But that,
The ranch is cool.
come on, you're going into different genres though. You're going from
Yeah.
country
Well,
to
okay.
house EDM.
I'll stay true. I'll stay true.
But logistically and logically, I mean, you have the observatory. That's a theatric style, has a stage, type of a venue, and so is Yost. Sorry, there it is. I said it. They're both theaters. You go there to see a performance, or as it is. I mean, they have hip hop. I got to meet Method Man. I mean, that show with I forget who else opened with him, but I mean, Method Man was just a sick show just to see that whole crew come out and just go crazy. Method Man, Redman, I'm there shooting just for the hell. I had no idea. I showed up. I'm like, okay, who's on bid today? Or what show is this? I showed up at like 5, 6 o'clock, and they're like, Method Man. I'm like, Method Man, Redman. I'm like, fuck yeah. Total change of pace from EDM.
Yeah,
So
that
it was
rolling.
totally cool.
Keep rolling, that
So
rolling remix.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite photos I've ever taken is from that. It's Method Man standing up in the crowd. He's not crowd surfing. He's standing, walking on the crowd, and his hands are up in the air. And it's kind of an iconic photo because, I don't know, it's just madness. But yeah, I don't know. Next question.
Next
What are we talking
question.
about now?
Well, dude, that's the whole point, man. You just got to go with it. Just go where it leads you. Okay, so what? Okay, here's a good one. What is the drug scene like out there? Now, I'm not implying you do drugs, but what I'm implying is, I mean, people have muses, obviously, and
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. No, of course it is. Yeah. So, but what, I mean...
I think what Jake is kind of getting at is there's kind of like a stigma following.
There we go.
Oh, EDM?
That everybody,
yes and no.
everybody that
Molly.
listens,
Yes
We're going to take
no.
a Molly.
everybody that listens to EDM does
just feel
Molly.
the music
Truth
with the
be
Molly.
told, when my first warehouse rave, I was 14 years old.
Where was I at?
It was in Vegas.
Sick and
not
right.
necessarily. Yeah, I mean, my aunt has always, as long as I can remember, has always lived in Vegas, and I have an older cousin he actually introduced techno to me. 8th grade. Was the first year I bought my first techno CD. I mean that maybe not so much. More Moby, more just kind of like the OG cats that are still out there today. But God, that's where it started for me, and I always had kind of that itch, just between not only being classically trained with I play piano, saxophone. My father always had us into music. My dad to this day still plays. My brother's an amazing musician. I just took more form to the digital arts as far as it goes. But just to kind of reiterate, back to the drug question and the scene in itself. Back then, 14 years old, I didn't know what I was watching, and now I reflect back and I'm like, oh, that's what was going on. Okay.
Like people screwing or something?
No,
like on the dance floor?
Drugs then weren't as accessible as they are today.
No, I can go to the corner and get drugs.
It's insane. But also, it's not implied that everyone partakes of it to enjoy these shows. Like EDC, Coachella, those festivals I've partaken in myself and not actually done any drugs. They're amazing. They're amazing experiences.
I think it's almost like you understand. Like, okay, if you go to Stagecoach, right? Stagecoach is a country music festival for all those people that don't know, a huge one. Mm-hmm. You're getting drunk.
It's still my favorite festival.
You're getting drunk. If you go to Stagecoach, you're gonna get drinking. You're gonna get drunk.
Yeah.
If you go to Coachella, you're gonna do drugs.
Not necessarily.
But what I'm saying is that's what's associated with.
It's absolutely associated. Like the Molly. Have you seen Molly?
Papa Molly, I'm sweating.
Like the whole bit now is just between cocaine, Molly.
Coke's on the comeback, isn't it?
It's always been there. It just kind of goes hush hush, quiet quiet, and then no one cares now. Like
I heard about that.
Everyone tries to be a little sneaky about it.
Coke's back on the rise. It's like just everybody knows you're doing it.
And then weed, everybody can smell, but then again, we live in California and no one gives a fuck at all.
That's true.
But no. As far as it being associated in that nostalgia, yes and no. You get those kids rolling their faces off, and I love getting those photos because they're just, I don't know.
There's that meme. Have you seen that meme of the fucking?
There's a few of
the
them.
Rager.
Have you seen the Instagram video with the chick just freaking out and rolling her face off?
Let me pull this up real quick.
Yes and no. Those kids that do go to these events, maybe 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 probably do drugs or partake in the drug scene and the drug culture, but I don't know. That's a statistic I can't really say from my experience. Yeah, every show I see someone fucked up or raging their face off or rolling. What are you looking up though?
I'm looking at that meme.
Okay.
So here it is. I found it. Okay, hold up. Here, you're gonna take a look at this, dude. You've never seen this one? So it's like.
Yeah, this kid. I have a shot myself, and I made a meme like this myself. Holy shit!
Have you seen that one?
I've seen a lot of those.
Everybody's like,
that's
what do you mean the sky's blue? Like
that photo is iconic. Actually, I think I know the photographer that took that. I have one too.
It's whatever.
I have one too.
We do.
There's people I know now that they're like, I don't even drink, bro. I just do drugs. I'm like, that's your preference, but
whatever you're into, man.
I love booze. Like, literally, let's just let people do drugs. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, if you have a personal pet peeve with it, don't partake in the industry.
It's like steroids in sports. If you want to be baseball, right? Taylor used to play baseball. Loves baseball.
Since I was 3 years old.
Loves baseball. All right. This dude's taken.
I'll just say it right now, just because you're bringing baseball. I just shot Adam Kennedy's brother's wedding Sunday. So it was pretty cool. I didn't know it until I got on site, and then I met the bride, and then I met the groom, and I'm okay, hey, Brian Kennedy, and then I'm Adam Kennedy. I'm like, wait, Angels? Like, yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's gonna be a good day. Hell yeah.
The guy I went to grade school with is currently on the Angels.
A couple of cats I know.
Can't drop his name, but yeah, I went to Canyon High School, I believe, and then he went to SC, and now he's on the Angels.
Been a few players on the Angels now.
So, but what I'm saying is, dude, okay, juicing, right? Let's just talk about this. Let's just lay it all out there, bro. Okay. So when you okay. So dude, obviously baseball player. If a dude's juicing to hit the heat, the dude's juicing to throw the heat. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
I've never heard it expressed like that, but okay.
Right?
Steroids in itself, in essence, coming from I'm still athletic, but nowhere in a competitive realm. It's a performance enhancing drug, and it literally was like the itch to continue to perform, to get better and better and be better and beat others and continue. So on the juice to hit the heat, or what did you say?
I said you gotta juice to hit the heat, then you gotta juice to throw the heat. Because you got some dude juicing throwing 98, and you got some normal guy throwing 96. You know what I mean? Those 2 extra miles, that's a lifetime in baseball.
But how many real juice heads? It became more along the lines of who's hitting the ball rather than the pitchers, though.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I always say, if you took Schwarzenegger in his prime, could he hit a baseball?
You can put
exactly. You know what I mean?
Bat,
so obviously, it's what muscles you're working when you're
Yeah, just to an extent on, I mean, what application they were using steroids for.
Because
it's
real
a performance-enhancing drug.
Real talk.
It enhances us as human beings.
I've taken pro hormones, so have you.
I have too.
I know you have. So I noticed that when I was taking that shit, like I was straight up. I mean, I took H-Stroll, perfectly legal. You can still buy it, but the stuff was unreal. And I mean, I this was my personal opinion. You tell me what your thoughts are on it. But because you took Tren, which was like
in every form of
non-injectable, right?
Non-injectable pro hormone. You can still orally ingest steroids, but I've never taken anything on the DECA or anything like that. It's classified as a steroid.
Did you see Generation Iron?
Yeah, I've seen Generation Iron,
so
Pumping
good.
Iron. It's really good.
Heath won.
Well, yeah, he's look at that guy.
Phil Heath crushed.
Look at that guy.
Kai Green.
He's
I'm
a
sorry.
specimen.
Everybody else
like
was a
perfect
joke.
Specimen.
Everybody else was a joke, dude. Those two were the only ones at the show. And then when Kai Green was just like,
Kai Green is a
he's
beast,
nut bar.
though.
He's a nut bar. But when he sits there and he's like, I love it when he's sitting there.
Works his ass off.
Well, I like it when he's sitting there and he just goes, I don't think you understand. Like, Phil Heath wakes up and that's what he looks like. And he's like, I have to work for it. You know what I mean? I kind of whatever. So, anyways, and then when the one dude was like, "Oh, you think you can do what I do? You think you can do what I do?" And he goes, "Why don't you try taking steroids and let's see if you can do what I do?" You know what I mean? I was like, it makes only people that lift would understand that concept because there's so many...
No, people that enhance their bodies to perform.
Well, anyway, okay, but what I'm trying to say is, you can have some fat ass sitting on the couch that goes, "If I took steroids, I could do that," but it's like, no, dude, you couldn't. Because I believe it's more of a mental aspect
Absolutely,
of what's going on, and that's what the stigma, like, you know what I mean, like, oh, dude, that guy's taking steroids. It's like, dude, shut up, like, you don't know anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it also just kind of reiterate back to people like, no, I don't do that, man. All those kids do drugs, for my nightlife scene, so kind of just to contradict each other. It's the same exact thing, if that's the point you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
From steroids and sports and drugs in the nightlife scene.
Yeah.
It's a party. It's an It's an enhancement. And coming from one that has partaken on several levels of different substances, just literally, because that's just how I got, to get inside their head and what they're experiencing in order for me to
Did it
not
help
necessarily capture more or work better. I've never
Did it
never
help
been
you
under
work better?
substances.
That's what I was
No,
saying.
Never. It made me understand.
That's what I was saying. So it wasn't.
It made me understand
way
exactly.
back earlier when we started. That's what I was asking. Was it a muse for you? Did you people like Hendrix? You know what I mean? Like, oh, take some LSD and watch me shred on my upside down guitar. Like, that was his muse. Like, did you ever notice an enhancement?
I've always been a fan of electronic music. I have. So
it's kind of not what I was asking, but okay.
I mean, but no. As a fan of electronic music, I don't have to be fucked up to enjoy the show nor enjoy shooting or working. I've never been under any form of substance other than alcohol while behind the camera, and that's just kind of hard not to be, shooting in a nightclub.
The only form, all right?
Hey,
Come here, give me one of those.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to on topic here and kind of off topic. What are your thought process like? And this is something that I've always kind of wondered. And our group of friends, anybody that doesn't know us, we're really, really brittle to each other, only because we've known each other for so many years.
When we have conversations in public, people stare at us.
Oh yeah, people are like, "Oh, what are
People
these
are
guys?"
Generally offended.
Yeah. Oh yeah, offended with.
Or they're taken back for a second, like, did you just say what I think?
The best way to describe it is we went to an all boys school, and
you started off like that.
And we went to an all boys school, and except for
all boys Catholic school.
All boys Catholic school. So when you replay it back and you get to like somebody like Matt, our producer, Matt did a co-ed Catholic school, Lutheran school.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he did went to grade school too together.
Yeah, I know that. No, I knew that with Mike.
A small circle with Mike.
Right?
Yeah, Mike. Mike will be on the show. Don't worry, we're gonna have Mike on the show. It's gonna be a good one. But so, anyways, all boy Catholic school. We've known each other for a long time.
12 years.
And we make jokes and whatever. So it leads into what I'm asking because I know Taylor won't get offended when I ask him questions. Now, a question that's always kind of bothered me and I've never had enough courage to ask you until now is what...
Not even worried, bro.
Is it...
I can't wait for whatever's
got a little liquid courage in me now. I'm good to go. I mean, he can't beat the shit out of me because we're getting a microphone going. So we have like documentation. Right?
What happened to you? I asked the wrong question.
Okay, so we've always joked about it, and, and we've always talked about it. But when it comes to like education on the topic, now you always make jokes. Like I would always make jokes to you, and when I would be like, Taylor just fucking picked up a camera, but there's a guy that goes to school for 5 years for this. You know what I mean? Now, what I want to ask you seriously is, Eddie Bravo. I don't know if you know who Eddie Bravo is. Black belt, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
No.
He beats one of the Gracies. I don't know which Gracie. Hickson, maybe? I don't know.
There's a lot of them.
He triangled a Gracie at Abu Dhabi, which was like unheard of. Yeah. And I believe that it was him that said the quote, "It takes 10,000 hours to be a master."
Well, there's Chinese proverb.
That one too, right? But I don't know. I'm an idiot. I'm talking out of my ass. Totally talking out of my ass. But what I'm asking is, when it comes to the subject of education, and this is my own personal opinion, because first off, I think that college and everything, I think it's all bullshit. And I think, and there's a reason now in our economy that an employer is going, somebody's coming out of a 4-year college with a degree, and they're going, oh, hey, I got my 4 years, hire me. And then somebody's like, why would I hire you? You want $80,000 a year, and you have no job experience. When I got Joe Schmo over here, who's gotten $40,000 a year and has been doing it for 4 years. He knows what the hell he's doing, and he likes it.
And he'll also take it for $40,000 a year rather than 80.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. He's willing to take 40 and do the same exact job you want to do. Plus, he's got 4 years experience and you've got a degree. I can't stand the idea of American colleges. Don't get me wrong. I love this country, America, goddamn it. But I can't stand our college system.
Well,
anyways,
I think just a higher form of intellect is on the rise of entrepreneurship, to where the system is in place by as we grown up, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, get married.
But dude, but look at it like this.
Start the process. Right?
No. But look at it like this though, dude. Okay, so what did high school teach you?
A shitload.
Okay, but what did high school teach you about real life?
Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Do you know how to balance a checkbook?
Oh, I figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. I had to Google how to balance a checkbook, dude.
Okay.
High school didn't teach me anything.
No, not for life. It just got you through what you needed to know. But that's programming.
When have I ever used Pythagorean's theorem?
Yeah.
On how to figure out
Pythagorean's theorem?
Yeah, when am I ever going to use that? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It depends on what you deal with. I know,
I know plenty of professionals, and I know like really successful professionals, and I don't know one person that's ever used Pythagorean's fucking theorem on figure out like whatever. Like Pythagoras? How do you say it? Pythagorean?
To be completely honest, I use it almost every day.
Yeah.
Well, shut up.
It depends on your
You're an electronic engineer. Get the hell out of here.
It depends on the field. It does. Like, okay, so let me grab the reins in this conversation.
Can somebody give me some ointment for that burn?
I mean, not to completely throw your line of commentary in the dirt, but I use it every day.
Hey, can somebody give me some
Depends on your field.
I need some Neosporin for that burn.
Let's backtrack here. So your question and where you were kicking it off was,
okay, my question was to you.
Kids coming out of school that studied or mastered in photography.
Yes. Now, are these people coming onto the scene, and are they going? Okay.
No, they're not.
I went to SC. No, let me finish. I went to SC photography school. I don't know, what's a good college for photography? You probably have no idea.
For photography, you take private classes for that. It's not a demanding skill.
Okay, so whatever.
You go to like art college or something
what is it?
FITM?
So, for example,
FITM,
okay, a school for
that's
film.
That's a joke. I know you don't go to
Chapman
FITM.
University has a great film program. A lot of badasses come out of there. I have several friends in the industry itself, corporate and EDM, that have film background. They're classically trained for film, and you can tell in their products and the type of videos and movies that they produce. It's there. For me, I studied my ass off. Thank God for YouTube. Thank you for the internet. I literally saw I saw an image and I'd go figure out how it was done or how to duplicate something similar. Or there are now tutorials. I mean, it came down to just how hungry I was to learn. So for those kids coming out of school, as you're saying, like with a degree, I have a degree in photography. Like I've never met another human that's like, well, I have a BA in photography. I'm like, cool, bro.
Yeah, pound sand. So I mean, well, I guess. Hey, kick rocks, bro. Tell me how that goes for you.
It is an artistic
That's cool. You
skill.
want to touch cameras?
You have to have an eye.
Touch cameras.
There are guys that are in the scene that have all the gear. This is a perfect example for you. They have better gear than I do. I mean, I've hustled. All my income goes right back into my business. But these cats come out with, they have the brand new this and that. Whether they come from money or they have a real nice 6-figure income from a job that with their degree
that's anything,
they got.
Though.
but they're not photographers. They're guys with a camera taking pictures.
You give a professional NASCAR driver a Honda, and you give some dude
shit out of that Honda.
And but I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, and you give some dude who's never driven a car before a Formula One car, and you can guarantee it doesn't matter the gear. You know what I mean? It's just it matters the person behind the camera, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because you couldn't give me your What is that, by the way? Canon what?
That's a Canon 60.
Canon 60. Because, that means absolutely nothing to me.
It's a full 35 millimeter,
it does stuff.
It does stuff. Yeah, it films too.
I mean, so pretty much it does what my iPhone does. But my question, what I'm saying is, like, I can't pick that up and I can't do what you do. No. Right? But there's a point to this. But neither could you 4 years ago, right?
No way.
Okay. So this is a learned skill.
Absolutely.
And you can't go to school for it.
No. Or you can go to school for it, yeah. Actually, I wanted to take classes myself just to expand my I wouldn't call it my library of knowledge, but like there's settings in that camera I don't even know what they do.
Yeah, dude. I was talking with Matt. By the way, everybody, Matt is also a photographer. Mm-hmm. But I was talking to Matt about a camera I shoot because Laura and I we want a camera when we start our life, a nice camera. Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, and I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell I'm getting. I just need something that takes pictures. Like, I don't know what all these settings are. DSLR. What is DSLR? DSLR. Explain that to me.
Do you know what it stands for? I just looked
that
up.
It's digital single lens reflex.
Dick sucking, licking.
It literally like it's just a form of photography, digital photography, because photography has evolved from film.
Well, SLR in the old days of film cameras, SLR stands for single lens reflex, which basically means when you look through the viewfinder, you're looking through the lens, where the consumer grade cameras, typically the viewfinders have a separate window that you're looking through, so it's not actually a true view.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
SLR cameras.
So there's a delay.
Viewing. No,
not a delay.
It's optical. So
look at it.
It's
this viewfinder does not line up with this lens.
Yeah.
There's a mirror in there.
So there's a delay.
It's not a delay. This
technically yes, but the speed of light is pretty fast. So.
Okay.
Watch real quick, okay?
Okay, I'm watching. I'm learning.
So you see this here? That's my shutter. That's my mirror. Okay. Yes. However, how long that is open allows light to travel to the sensor. Okay. So when I flip it over for video, the shutter goes up and it's just the raw sensor. That's the actual sensor that captures images.
Okay.
Okay. On a digital scale per pixel. Okay. So the more pixels, the higher resolution for the photo. Okay. So, I just hit record. So flipping that back down. So technically that's like taking a photo. I mean, basically when you hit the shutter goes up, it comes back down at a different speed. Okay, now, is that starting to make sense to you?
Yes. Now this is something I can just as easily Google, but I think for the point of this show, it's going to work. And I'm ignorant on this topic. Now I'm going to state this because I feel like this is going to be a running theme with this show. When I state that I'm ignorant, but I'm not stupid, because I believe that ignorance just means I don't know enough about a certain topic to fully talk about it and address it in an intellectual manner. Stupid is Honey Boo Boo's family. That's stupid. Okay.
Stupid is.
I'm
allegedly.
Let's keep that under wraps right now.
Let's not slander ourselves. Allegedly.
I don't want TLC coming at me. But
they're making. Yeah. Whatever.
Oh yeah, hand over fist. Hand over fist.
Because they created a brand.
A beauty queen. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get a little tipsy.
She's like 8, bro, so I don't know. Booty queen is...
No, beauty queen. She's a little... That's what she got her from. Toddlers and Tiaras, or whatever that fucking show is. That stupid show with moms that live vicariously through their daughters and whatever. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so back to my stupid question. What makes a picture? I have no idea. And it blows me away and it mind boggles me, the idea that I can take my phone, I can point at something, I can press a button, and now I have that exact image forever. What is creating that picture?
Do you want the long
Reader's Digest, make it quick.
Reader's Digest?
Reader's Digest, make it quick.
You have a sensor filled with pixels that are collecting light. You have a color graph, between RGB, red, green, and blue. Yep. Those are your colors.
Your primary colors.
Yep. And it's a blend of those pixels accepting the light and freezing that image digitally, storing information.
Okay. So it's all
it's
a
how,
matrix
how you
type
and I
shit.
perceive. That's how we created cameras. Exactly how our eyes work.
Bro,
Imagine
I see everything upside down.
like technology
Theoretically. and theoretically, you actually see everything. Was it like a microsecond in the past? Because when I see something now, it still has to process through my nerves to my brain.
It's the same thing with frame rates.
Yeah.
So I'm technically seeing everything in the past.
Technically, yes.
Okay, cool. That's where I was going. That's where I was
Okay, so if you think of it this way, to break down between photos and video, just to kind of add on to your question here,
Yes.
what a photo is. What a video is a single frame. That's why everything's frames per second, 24 frames per second, 24 images per second. So it's a moving picture.
Well, see, what blows me away about the digital age, and like I said, because I have absolutely no idea, and I've never even thought about, looking at it, but when you look at like old VHS or 8mm film, my mind was always, okay, cool, so it's capturing the light, and it's slapping it onto the film, and that's how you're getting a video, right? And then I could take out that film and I can watch what's going on. This is a dumbed down version of what the average Joe me thinks of photography. Now, how does that translate to a digital picture? How does this motion, same thing, just on a digital scale?
Essentially, it's the same thing. The process is just different. So instead of
That's why we have these.
putting light onto a chemical,
Oh, memory cards.
Memory cards. It's what stores the image.
Yeah.
That image that this camera captured is then stored on this card. It's not stored on the camera. It's data transferred to, well, now you have microsims and SD cards, and used to be CF cards, which are not trustworthy for a damn. Which do you have in there? Or do you have a CF card?
Yeah,
Have you had corrupted data with your CF card?
Never once.
Oh, lucky you.
'cause I don't buy
hate
crap
CF
cards.
But now they're microsims, and then now they're the actual, like, the cards for the red epics, the more expensive, bougier cinematic
Yeah,
stuff.
okay, here's something else. Explain to me, because I don't understand it. Now, what is this whole, like, pixel, and what I'm trying to say is you and I have talked about certain things like this. So if we've talked about it before, just go with it, like, because obviously nobody else has heard us talk about it. But you take something like that Hubble telescope picture, right?
Image.
What was it, 8 million or 8 billion
Sweet NASA.
pixels?
Thanks, bro. Make it go real small.
What was
Right.
it? It was like 8 billion pixels or something, right?
Look it up.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You have the internet. Look it up right now so we get this data right.
I gotta make this hard, bro.
Fact checker.
What? Google. They put it on Vimeo, and then they went into this photo. It's the largest image ever captured in history, is what it was. And it was, how big was the image?
I don't remember.
No, because
1.5 billion pixels.
Yeah,
was how big the image was.
How large was the file though? Does it say there?
Dude, what does this look like, man?
That's got to be over a terabyte.
Right.
Oh no, they had to create servers for it.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. They had to create like its own server to store that one picture. So let me ask you this: when we get to pixels and the idea of pixels?
It's the dog.
Okay.
I kind of want to. I don't know what she's doing.
What more pixels are better?
Yeah.
Obviously,
More
right?
pixels, the higher resolution.
So how do I create more pixels? Why haven't we created?
The sensor they use in the Hubble telescope is like, okay, so you saw the size of my sensor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your standard full frame camera sensor. Now sensors are only getting bigger, or they're actually getting smaller, but they have more pixels. It's a weird science that I don't even. If I understood that science, I would definitely invest my time into sensor building and camera developing, because it's a lucrative market. I mean, I'd make millions.
Everybody
if
has a camera.
All that in itself, but also how small is your sensor in your iPhone? And it's cranking out images
like I know.
almost as well
Like, what the fuck?
as our DSLRs now. Like it's crazy just how technology is shrinking. But
8 layers of glass.
We're not losing quality. Yeah, it's just silly. But like, so for instance, you saw the size of my sensor in my full frame here. The sensor inside that Hubble telescope is about the size of a really large dinner plate, like the size of your MacBook.
Okay, but
So pixels per inch come into play.
okay, so if this is a big deal, let's just say NASA has unlimited funds.
They don't.
But you know what I mean? They do, because we keep paying taxes.
Well,
but
they're not funded by the government anymore.
Oh really? They're a private entity?
How long now? Almost a decade.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah,
How did I not know
private
this?
Why do you think
funded,
there's?
yeah.
Why
It's
do you
like
think
post
they're
office.
launching?
Shut up,
they're
guys.
launching satellites from Japan and other. I mean, they have their base in Florida. But
Oh, that's what my dad loved the
government's not
post
doing
office
anything
though,
for them
because it's
anymore.
going under. I mean, you can't compete with FedEx and UPS. You're brain dead. Amazon's gonna start using drones. Like we just need to.
That's a whole nother can of worms. The FAA is getting on that
Skeet
real
shooting,
quick.
dude. That's what I said. Free packages right now, dude. Someone's got an Amazon delivery. Knock it down. Like, could you imagine, dude? Something like, "Hey guys, I never got my diapers." Like,
Your drone went down somewhere over.
we tracked it, dude. Your drone went down from somewhere over Louisiana. Like, you just let the dream die, bro. It's not happening. Okay, so let me ask you this then: if the size of the sensor is the issue, why isn't NASA making 10 by 10 sensors and taking these immaculate photos?
They don't. I mean, they are.
Does the technology not exist, or
The technology exists, and they post photos all the time. If you follow them on Instagram, or if you actually who sits at home and do you stalk NASA?
I mean,
So you just like
sounds like my
just
Tuesday night.
Just Google HD like space texture for instance, or just HD galaxy images. I mean, we're taking photos of shit light years away from out of our solar system. Like, I mean, that technology exists, but why? Well, I mean, there's no real drive nor need right now for it. I mean, as everything's going, okay, perfect example. Last year, just me studying the industry of a photographer and the realm of which I wish to, divert my attention, say like red carpet, say, celebrity to editorial style stuff. Somewhere in Boston, they fired their entire photography staff and started training their reporters to take photos with their iPhones for media. Why? Because it cuts,
Did you know about this?
Cuts budget.
Yep.
Really?
Cut the budget down by like.
We got to buy them iPhones and pay for their service.
Yeah,
Everybody's got a smartphone now.
a lot of media outlets and magazines and periodicals no longer have staff photographers
I
anymore.
feel like I heard about this, but I don't. I don't.
It's actually a growing trend, and it kind of sucks for people that want to make a living out of it, because the staff photographer jobs are disappearing.
Okay, but this brings us back to like what I said earlier about capitalism, right? I mean, the market's changing. You have to adapt.
Is always changing.
Now, I don't want to say like obviously in this economy, I never want to see somebody lose their job or people, you know what I mean? But that's what made America America.
Somewhat.
Damn it. But no, that's what it was. It was struggle. I mean, we fought and we got better as it changed, and we overcame obstacles, and we're at where we're at now. Now, relating back to what you said, what if the club you worked for said,
They already did that.
T-Lane, we're done.
They already did that. They won't afford my rates.
Okay, but let's just say your rates weren't the issue. Let's say you wanted $10 the night. Let's just say. Okay. Well, dude, it's you don't have to be smart ass. It's hypothetical. $10. But what if they're saying they're paying you $10 a night, and they just said, "Nah, we're gonna cut you off. We're just gonna have the club goers take pictures with their phones and hashtag our club."
Okay.
Then they got their photos, right?
Technically,
And that
depends on they can get away with that. The other side of my photography is it's a digital image, and where the internet's at is you can take my photo and post it somewhere, but I'm technically the artist and own all the copyrights of that image. So if I did fire a little, flame up my ass and I went after them legally, I could. So you're looking at the liability for the club coming down to where they'd have potentially a large amount of lawsuits if it started to trend. Say for instance, like photographers started suing like crazy, like boom, 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 you did it, and it just started as a trend to where it became a lucrative source of income. Everyone would do it. Yep. So if hypothetical Alex took a badass photo on his iPhone and the nightclub grabbed it and used it on their next flyer or used it for their marketing, he deserves some compensation for that because he's technically the one that took the image. Like for instance, the selfie monkey or whatever. But Nat Geo.
Yeah.
Nat Geo didn't pay the photographer because technically the monkey took the photo. The monkey took a selfie. It was
that's what happened.
Whatever it was. But because technically, if you took my camera, my gear, right? Let's say you took what is this? Like $5,000 worth of gear right here, just the lens and the camera, right? And you took a photo with that, and it was fucking amazing. I can't sue you because you took a photo with my camera.
Well, that's technically your photo.
Well, that's what happened with the Oscars. It wasn't Bradley Cooper had the phone. It was Bradley Cooper's phone.
But Ellen took.
Ellen took the photo, so it was Ellen's photo. So it's intellectual property almost.
Yep. The person that presses the button is the owner of the property, is the owner of the image.
That blows me away.
Yep, that's how the law is written.
Well,
currently.
if I had a gun and you took it and killed someone, I wouldn't commit murder. You did.
Yeah, but you get screwed because the gun would be registered to you.
It would be registered to me, and then I'd have to prove that. Let's say that they caught you on camera pulling the trigger.
Well, that's a different story.
You know, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But it's still
So we're not
hypothetically the same.
Same general concept.
Same concept.
I mean, could Taylor argue that that he took the picture?
Yeah, he could, but it's all circumstantial evidence though, right? Like if there's, because what Taylor said was there's film, right?
What?
There was film of me taking the photo, like let's just say, or shooting the gun,
Right.
right?
So that would obviously prove that you were guilty.
I was guilty.
Tied you to firing the shot.
I'm so off track.
So back to the Ellen is
What?
obviously holding the phone.
What are you talking about?
Ellen is obviously holding the phone.
Did
But
that
it was
on purpose,
Bradley
you dick.
Cooper's phone. And
Yes.
what I don't even recall what stirred that whole pot.
She just wanted to get everybody together for a picture.
No, and it was a great selfie because selfies were like the thing at the moment, the trend,
Yeah.
so to say, in society. Selfie. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Can't wait till that
I go
trend
through and I
dies.
laugh at people's profiles. You know, randoms add me all the time. Fans, not randoms, or they could be randoms. You don't know. Everyone's adding everyone on Facebook. It's like, dude, bitch, I don't know you.
It's
Like,
a number. Yeah.
what are you
Everybody's
doing?
like, oh, I have
But you
50,000
go through all their
followers.
profile pictures and they're all taken by themselves. Like nobody actually wants to take a photo of you. You're taking all your own goddamn photos. Like it just, I don't know. I find it comical.
So the
I
way-
can't
I'm
wait
not a
for
guy
the
that-
selfie
I don't take
trend to
selfies of
just
myself.
die.
It's horrible.
I cannot wait.
So
It's not
the way the law is written, right? The way the law is
damn
written.
front camera. Like fucking front camera on that phone. Like,
So the way the law is written.
Is our group conversation going off right now? Is
I
that
don't know,
what
but you
happened?
gotta take that off your table.
I'm trying to. There.
Put your phone on airplane mode.
Yeah, there you go. So the way the law is written, if you took a photo of me, right, and I put that photo as my Instagram profile picture, right, and for some reason I got sponsored for Instagram and they started wanting to pay me money and I kept that, you could sue me.
If
I
you
could ask for
made
compensation.
money off of the photo and didn't compensate him, technically he could sue
On
you.
terms that you and I agree on.
That's
You could
retarded.
have been like a quarter, and we would have been cool. But no, it does happen. Like,
Well, I could see it playing in really big into a like
it happens all the time to photographers.
advertising.
I'll
I
tell you
could
right
see
now.
advertising or like corporate media
Yeah,
or
it's
anything like
happened
that.
to me.
National Geographic.
That's
is a
fair.
a big one on it.
But normal people could do that. Like it doesn't have to be like a $500 million company. It could be
Yeah.
two dudes just chilling.
Yeah.
That's
Some kid walked into. He's a fellow photographer. He walked into. He did a shoot or a corporate shoot for something or somewhere. He walked into like a Chicks or a Dick's or a sporting goods store, and there was his photo right dead center, like 3x5 above this thing for Nike, right? So he went after Nike. And
I
he
feel
went
like this
after-
is an urban legend. Like I've heard the story before.
It happens all the time for us, anyways.
It-
It's
it's
so
happened-
easy
it's
for
happened to
someone to
me.
steal a photo and
Yeah.
use it for their own gratification. Flyering, you know, that's why promoters hire photographers to shoot the night.
Well, did you know that Nike can't, because of Nike, nobody's allowed to go up the temple anymore at Chichen Itza
No, why?
because they filmed a commercial there in the 80s. Excuse me. They filmed a commercial there in the 80s where they had a girl running up the mountain, not the mountain, the pyramid in her Nikes. And it like followed her steps at sunrise and she was, I'm conquering the pyramid. And then everybody started running. It was like a Rocky scene, like where Rocky runs up the stairs. And everybody started kind of running up the stairs, and then Nike started making money because of the commercial. And Mexico, the country, never approved Nike to film that. They just went down there and filmed this commercial.
No permits, no.
And now nobody's allowed to. You're not allowed to step foot on
Wow.
Chichen Itza temple anymore.
That's crazy.
Little fun fact for you, and that's true. Like, but I just because we learned that because obviously when I went there with my family, I learned that fact. I thought it was really interesting. So, but
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
interesting intellectual property rights. I never even.
Yeah. I've had one of my photos stolen.
No way. For what?
It was a shot that I took of my buddy and his wife at a sporting event, a race. that they were participating in, and he was giving her like a pre-race little pep talk.
Is this Paul?
No, Pat.
Pat, I mean? Why did I say Paul? Pat.
I don't know a Paul.
I know. Why did I say Paul?
I'm going to get the dog so she stops crying.
Anyways.
But Pat and his wife really liked the photo, and they actually bought a really big print for me of it. And
Is that the one you did on metal?
yep. And the track actually ended up taking that photo off of his Facebook and used it in one of their promotional pieces. Without consulting me or without even asking Pat if it's okay or anything like that. And long story short, I mean, I asked them to take it down and they did. So I mean, it wasn't a huge deal, but
As the artist, you said, hey, it's like somebody, if you were Picasso, it's like somebody hanging your painting.
yeah, it's exactly.
But it happens with Instagram as it is, it just happens. It's so easy. The artist has to be told. Someone has to know the photographer or know the individual that took the photo to notify them. I mean, there's so many channels that it's very unlikely. I've browsed links on Facebook to blog pages and found my photos, and I'm like, sometimes with my watermark cropped out or no photo recognition given. And we as a community of EDM photographers and nightlife photographers have come together collectively to make it known that this shit is not okay.
They've unionized.
It's like
everybody beware.
The perfect and prime example is like, let's say Hardwell produced a track and I downloaded it from SoundCloud, and then I went to a show and I was a DJ and I spun it as my own. What kind of shitstorm do you think would happen then?
Yeah.
What kind of legal lawsuit would then happen? It's the same thing, except you have an artist making millions a year doing what he's doing, but it's the same point to get across.
I don't know. I guess you could say I'm just really conflicted on this topic, because to me it's like, okay, cool. So me, Jake, I go take a picture of a sunset and I put it on my Instagram and it gets 19 likes and I go on with my life, right? But then McDonald's steals my photo and puts it on their billboard, and now they're selling 10 million burgers because of my photo. Mm-hmm. To me, it just makes me go, okay, well, the picture would have never happened if McDonald's didn't take that photo. So, I don't know. I'm not making sense. It makes sense in my head, but I can't really explain it properly. But to me, it's like, well, good for McDonald's. They deserve it. They did something I couldn't do.
No,
that's
from our
theft.
perspective.
And I'm not a photographer. That's why I'm asking you guys.
It's theft.
You would
be theft on that part.
be settled for an undisclosed amount of money. They'd offer you something you probably wouldn't even want to refuse at the time, depending upon how far you want to take the legal battle. But
that's really interesting to me. I never even thought about that.
That's the other realm of how lucrative photography.
Well, but isn't there something like I heard some report that there's more pictures taken in one day than there have been in the last like 500 years.
Because of technology.
It's because of the technology boom.
So is this going to be, okay, so I don't know, have you guys ever seen like Caution Hot? I forgot what it's like, Caution Served Hot or whatever. It's a documentary on Netflix, and it's all about like frivolous lawsuits and how they've actually really cut down on frivolous lawsuits. Do you think something like photography is going to be the next big like kind of frivolous lawsuit deal? It's like, okay, dude, like you can only sue us so many times.
No, because it's copyright infringement.
Yep. I'm surprised.
It's not frivolous.
I'm surprised we haven't dropped that term yet.
Copyright infringement is what it is. That's what it legally is defined as. Because when you snap a picture, you own the copyright to that photo. And if anyone uses it for monetary gain, the owner of that photo needs to be compensated.
That is so interesting.
It's just like how you're not going to go to your daily job and you're going to work your tail off, and then they're not going to pay you at the end of the day. You would be pissed. It's the same thing.
YouTube, as me producing videos, if I use a track that I don't have the rights to, which is very hard, which actually costs us quite a lot on the back end, where we buy royalty-free music and licensing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I buy a track for like $80 or whatever, so I can actually sell the actual product to my client. But in terms of YouTube, got real smart with it, and if you monetize your video, like there's that button to monetize it. Say if I think it's 100,000 views, you get $1,500.
Matt knows what's up.
Something like that from YouTube.
We actually have the channel set up.
1 million views
1 million.
is $3,000.
Okay. So
Roughly, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but
it depends on what comes down between you and YouTube.
Well, there's that video. Have you seen that documentary, Please Subscribe?
Yeah.
You and I talked about it. Have you seen that one, Please Subscribe? And it's all about the YouTube, like the Jenna Marbles and the people on YouTube that make their entire livings.
those people make millions of dollars a year.
Blows me away.
It's insane, and it's all based on ad revenue.
Unreal.
It is all that revenue. But just back to my point was that YouTube will now upload your video but not stream the audio because it picks up. They have an algorithm that picks up on actual tracks that have been uploaded to a database that you cannot stream without the artist running. You stop it. Get over here.
So, okay, so I posted a video of me just talking, but there's a Van Halen track in the background. They won't put the audio up because the algorithm picks up that that's a copyrighted song.
If the artist, I believe that the way that particular thing works is if the artist chooses to have their songs blocked, it'll block it, because some artists will go through and some won't.
That was an accident, sorry.
But yeah, essentially, yeah, it'll block your audio.
Freaking Siri.
It'll block your audio.
Interesting. This is so interesting to me.
And I'm not sure if that still happens if you don't monetize your videos. Does that?
I'm not sure. I haven't uploaded a video. I've learned my lesson like a year ago. And
Yeah,
I've
it's
bought
hard.
royalty-free music and stuff that's produced by actual artists. That's how they actually make their money. To stock video or stock audio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for us, I know the legal balance of like my business and my career, so where I don't look like an amateur to my client. Like, hey, try to upload this video that cost us $5,000 and the audio won't play. Oh yeah, because I borrowed Hardwell's new remix and they won't. I didn't pay anybody for that.
So that's like when you did. Now, I'm only asking. Can I mention brands that you've worked with?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you did that deal with Beats, right?
Yeah.
And you made that video for Beats, all the music and everything in the background, which was a spectacular video, by the way.
It's all audio provided by Beats.
Okay, cool. That's what I was gonna ask. So they gave you music and they said, hey.
They supplied it. Well, two of the tracks for Kendrick Lamar are sponsored by Beats by Dre.
Okay.
And it's
So
actually
essentially,
from
Beats
itself.
has licensed Taylor to be able to use those tracks in his
No,
production.
doesn't that squash your creative process? Because aren't you like, well, I really wanted to use this song, but
There are limitations to that. When it comes to us, it's the client, it's the end product that the client's paying for. So technically, it's what they want. It's the content that we film on the event that they provide. Their production was insane. But for the client, for the highlight or for the event or whatever they specifically hired us for, not in detail or anything, but it comes down to here's a select list of tracks you can use for this video or per this style event. Or say we filmed for 10 days and we had 4 or 5 different events that we captured, and then we have to make highlight trails or reels for them to back catalog or use for future events. Like this is what we did last year to show clients or however they're going to use the product in itself. For hiring our services, they then provide their, as you said, their license or certificate.
okay. So Laura and I are getting married next month. We use, we use the Boot Scootin' Boogie
Right.
at our wedding. Okay, and it's filmed, right? Which is Taylor Layne Photography will be filming our wedding.
I'm in your wedding, but I have my voice coming with it.
Yeah, okay, but anyways. So my question is, we use Boot Scootin' Boogie. Your video goes viral. His wedding video goes viral.
Okay.
Boot Scootin' Boogie wasn't licensed by, who is that? Is that Billy Ray? I think it's Billy Ray Cyrus.
I think
Right?
it's Billy Ray.
Whatever, whoever it is.
I'm not sure.
He doesn't license that song.
If it takes
Now
off,
I'm
it goes viral.
I'm screwed.
No, you're not screwed. It'll come back to me.
Yeah,
It'll
it would come back to
me, and they'll
the
because-
producer of the.
Well, if it goes viral on your account, then you'll be calling me. But I haven't yet seen a wedding video go viral.
Well, yeah, it's you know what I mean. It's
And that comes down to whether or not typically as long as you don't monetize, you're usually okay. As long as you're not making money off of it,
It's free advertising for them.
Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. Yeah, as long as you're not making money off it, it's pretty much free advertising for them. As long as it's in good taste, they're not going to do anything about it.
Interesting. Well, very informative. So, I feel like, what, are we ending it now?
Yeah, I think this is a good spot.
It was good. Learned a lot, and that's the whole idea of this podcast. Was I want to, like I said earlier, I'm ignorant on millions of topics out there, and
It's a lot of topics.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, millions. Dude, I'm ignorant on how that camera works. I'm ignorant on how this table was made. I'm ignorant on how this microphone works. You know what I mean? So why not get the people on that built the table, built the microphone? Okay, and so that's the point of this podcast. And wanted to thank you guys for listening. Wanted to thank Taylor for coming on. TLanePhoto.com. If you guys want to go check out his work, it's brilliant. And I'm not just saying that because I'm his friend. It's actually really awesome. And Matt, the producer, for putting together a great show.
Yeah, no problem.
And yeah, we'll see how this one rolls out. And hopefully you'll be seeing us again. All right?
Yeah, buddy.
Cool. All right, guys. And let's finish this off. Matt and I decided that we were going to finish every show off with a toast.
Okay.
And that was, or a toast or a cheers?
Just a cheers.
A cheers?
Simple cheers.
Yeah, we toast
Cheers.
at weddings.
Why do British people cheers? Every time, like, just say thank you.
It's in celebration.
This is America, just say thank you. All right, so Taylor, thanks for coming on the show, man. Cheers. It was good stuff. Let's finish off our drinks. And that, my friends, is our first episode of Whiskey Babble. Thank you for coming out to the maiden voyage, and we appreciate you guys all listening. And there'll be more to come, all right? Have a great night. Bye.